Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Austrian Grand Prix, and what a fantastic race it was as F1 returns. The first race at Austria was a cracker. Driver ratings, we've not done this for so long. All 20 drivers covered. I give them a rating out of 10. 0 being terrible, 10 phenomenal. We go down every single driver and give a detailed analysis about their race. So I don't do this in order, just whoever I write first. So we're going to go, where are we going to start with? Carlos Sainz is first on the list. Carlos Sainz, 8 out of 10. He had a tough qualifying P8, but he had a great race pace. Really shines in the race. That is his strength, Carlos Sainz. He finishes P5. Amazing points for McLaren, as they are second in the constructors with Sainz and Norris's performance. Lando Norris, 10 out of 10. Star of the weekend, qualifying star, driver of the day, fastest lap, first podium in Formula 1, big move on Sergio Perez. I mean, I love to see it. I love to see McLaren on the podium because they're my favourite team. And Norris, he put a bold move when he needed to on Perez. Perez was sleeping. And then he had to get the fastest lap in order to get the podium because Hamilton had a 5-second penalty. And he delivered. He absolutely delivered. He was phenomenal this weekend, Lando Norris. Had fantastic points for McLaren. Giovinazzi, 8 out of 10. Awful qualifying. No pace. Really worried for Alfa Romeo, but he brought it back in the race. He got 9th. He scored his first points here in 2019. He scored Alfa Romeo's first points again in 2020. Yeah, I give Giovinazzi an 8. Solid. Very solid. Especially with the car he's in as well. Kimi Raikkonen, 3 out of 10. I thought he had a very bad weekend. Very tough for Raikkonen. He's the experienced campaigner. No pace. The car was awful. He qualified P19 and then he retired late on. Had a pit stop, clonked the curb, his wheel came off, and he wasn't the only guy for his wheel to come off. As we get on to the next guy whose wheels came off. Danny Kvyat, 5 out of 10. I've got a lot of 5s because the guys who retired you can't really mark because obviously they retired, so just standard 5. Retired with a tyre failure. Obviously been hitting the curbs hard and the tyre failed. Danny Kvyat qualified 13th, would have been in the points, but obviously tyre failure. Pierre Gasly, 8 out of 10. Didn't see him in the race, but he finishes P7. I mean, he out-qualified Danny Kvyat, finishes P7. Don't have much written down for Gasly, because we hardly saw him on the TV, but it's 8 out of 10 for Pierre Gasly. Great performance. Great performance. Alpha Tauri scoring their first points. What a shit name that is. Max, like I said, these retirements I'm just going to give him a standard 5 because I mean you can't really mark them. I'll give Max 5 out of 10. Good solid qualifying, was looking very good. He was on a different strategy to everyone else, got promoted to P2 because of Hamilton's penalty, but in the race he electrical issue, lost drive. It was a massive shame for the race because Max was on a different strategy and he would have been on the podium for sure. Alexander Albon, 8 out of 10. Decent qualifying. He had a guaranteed podium in the race, but he got taken out by Lewis Hamilton. Safety car came out. Alexander Albon was on softs. He was looking very strong. Could have possibly won the race. He went round the outside of Hamilton. Hamilton didn't give him enough room. He gets tagged round through the gravel trap. Later retires in the race. Was Lewis's fault and he got a penalty for it. On to the Ferrari boys. Charles Leclerc, 8. Now I never thought I'd be giving Charles Leclerc an 8 after the qualifying. It was a horror qualifying for Scuderia Ferrari. Probably the 5th best team, but the reason I give Charles Leclerc an 8 is because he finished P2 in the race. Who would have thought they would have got P2 in the race after their quali pace? And we're at Austria next week again. Ferrari, wow, they really need that upgrade. Charles Leclerc overachieved in the race for me. That's why I give him 8. Sebastian Vettel, 1. He has got the lowest mark. Once again, a huge mistake. Now, I do feel sorry for him now, because everyone's going to dig him out again. But I have to say it as I see it. I've got to give him 1. Another mistake. 100% his fault. Spins round. He was complaining about the car that it was terrible to drive. P11 in quali. P10 in the race. An awful weekend for the 4-time champion. Valtteri Bottas, 10 out of 10. Pole position. Race win. Dominated the weekend. Championship leader. Beat Hamilton fair and square. Lewis Hamilton. Now, I mark these ratings very fair. And people will be shocked by this, but I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. Lewis Hamilton, 4. And yes, I give him 4 because 2 huge mistakes. This is the world champion. I'm a Lewis fan, but I've got to mark these as I see it. Like, stupid penalty in qualifying. Yellow flag comes out. He doesn't slow down, so he gets dropped 3 places in the race. Crash with Albon, gets another penalty. Guaranteed to be first or second, and he ends up P4. He had great race pace. He was probably quicker than Bottas. Mercedes had to look after the car big time. But yeah, 2 huge errors by Lewis Hamilton. That's why I mark him down. Romain Grosjean, 5 out of 10. Outqualified Kevin Magnussen. Has struggled for pace, and he had a brake failure, retired. Kevin Magnussen, 5 out of 10. Tough weekend. Outqualified by Grosjean. Brake issue, retired. Both Hasses struggle with brakes. George Russell, 7 out of 10. Amazing qualifying, P17. He's in a poor car. He outqualifies 2 Alphas, retires late in the race. Now, usually I give the retirees a 5, but George Russell I'm going to give 7 for his car and his performance in qualifying. I really do rate George Russell highly. Nicholas Latifi, 6. 6 for Latifi. Solid debut. He finished 11th. Okay, he was last in qualifying, last in the race. But he had a clean race. He brought the car home. His car was reliable when others was not reliable. I think he did a good job. Okay, he crashed the car in FP3. But as a first weekend, I thought he was pretty solid. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. Yes, he was last in quali in the race, but he didn't make any mistakes in the race. So yeah, he's going to learn, and the more time in the car, the better for Latifi. Sergio Perez, 7. I thought Racing Point were going to get a podium. I was quite disappointed in the end with Racing Point. Solid performance. I expected a podium. Perez got a silly penalty, speeding in the pit lane, slam dunk. But yeah, Sergio Perez, where did he qualify? He qualified 6. Finished 6, so, and he should have had a podium, Perez, and he was caught sleeping. He literally let Lando Norris past him. I mean, he was so wide. Lance Stroll, 5 out of 10. Expected more with Racing Point. Expecting them to be higher. I mean, he got P9 in quali, but he was struggling in the race big time. He had an engine issue, very slow on the straights. Got passed by Vettel, lost 5 seconds straight away to him, so it was terminal. He retired the car. On to the last team. Esteban Ocon, 8 out of 10. Very good comeback. He returns to Formula 1, he scores points, he finishes P8. He gets a mark of 8 and he finished P8. Good points and a solid comeback for Esteban Ocon. Daniel Ricciardo, 5. Decent qualifying, P10, beat Ocon. Was running in the points in the race, but had a cooling issue. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Austrian Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas and Lando Norris get a big 10. Fantastic weekend. We go on to Austria in a week's time, and we go again. Qualifying reaction, race reaction, driver ratings. That is the first weekend in Austria done. It's been fun. Absolutely loved the race. Last 20 laps were epic. And yeah, let me know who your driver of the weekend was. For me, it has to be Norris. Norris and Bottas, sensational. Thanks for watching. Comment, we'll always reply. Adios. Oh, Charles Leclerc. What a race by Charles Leclerc to get P2 after the horror show. Thanks for watching, adios.